Alright, today we'll be looking at the design of an invitation card or an envelope, and this same concept is what we'll be using for the both of them. In other words, we're going to give you an invitation card concept of this and an envelope. I want to assume that the card is more like an A5 size card, that is something that looks like half of a typing sheet, whereby you can put in a big envelope, which is something as much as I'm presenting here now. This also implies that this card is designed to go almost without an envelope, because you can write the name on the card as it stands here. This is the space for the name. And envelopes also have the other kind of it, whereby it is kind of what I call highly rectangular, maybe from here to this point, and it will just go this way. It's a matter of adjusting things to match both layouts. The main concept lies in the design, which I want us to approach in a moment. So let's get started. Closing this, let's start the CorelDraw. So here's my CorelDraw screen loading. Quick start. I want to start a blank new document, and maybe my size, I'm going to choose A5. I've always said it's not compulsory. My DPI at 300 RGB. Okay, can call this invitation card. Invitation card, that's the file name. I'll be saving it with. Okay, so let me maximize this. Alright, we have that before us. The next thing is to put it on landscape. I would have just gone ahead to start designing, but if I'm doing from my head, it won't really help, because I might be missing some of the things I have to write on it. So I have to go and copy the card, that concept we were looking at, bring it into the, okay, let me use a function of importing, so you can get that also clear. Import, that thing is on my desktop, and it is called card. Look at this card. So double clicking on it to import. I can now press enter on keyboard to drop it anywhere, and that is the card I must have designed some years ago. I can't remember the year. Okay, that was 2020. Okay, just want us to learn this. It's not that difficult. As usual, I've selected my page to be A5 already. In my own way, I usually have to double click on the rectangle so that it will create a border whereby I can use to align my objects around it. Okay, and it's not compulsory, you must do that, but it is my own way of doing it. You might want to follow me, or do it your own way. What matters is select your paper size. It's very, very important. So even if you don't want to work on a paper size, you could as well come and draw maybe the shape of this, or the size or dimension of what you want to design somewhere by the size here, by the side here, and then all your designs will go into that space if you know the actual dimension. A5 is about 148 by 210, which is here in millimeters, so you can as well set this and do that, but for me, I'm using this other one, so delete this. Let's get back in here. What should I do first? It will be fine for us to start with the background or the write-up, whichever way. Basically, if someone sends you a write-up for a design, it's not going to give you the pictures to use. They don't send pictures. If they have maybe like the picture of the host, the pastor, or the organizers of the program, or those the ministers they want to use for whatever purpose it is. Let me say, even if it's a political poster, they have a picture of the person or the party they want to use. They might want to send to you, or even ask you to search for it. So for me, I have prepared two things for us in what I call resource folder. When you get to that resource folder, you're going to find this logo, you're going to find this image. These are the two pictures, or the two things I imported while I designed the other one. So those two things are also here, this logo and this image. The rest of it, I created them manually, and how I did them, you would learn it right away. Quickly, let me start by framing my background. So I've created this point already. Maybe I should color it white. It doesn't really show because the background is white already, but that's just by the way, it's not important. The next thing I want to do is to create this other shape, this side, you know, whereby I'm just putting the picture of the musical equipment, because having known that they are trying to do an anniversary, you can see something representing anniversary here, and you also see that they say plus this musical equipment launching, so you can as well see the musical equipment by the background. It's more like using the picture here to tell the story of what people are coming to see when they come for the program, or if they are sending in money. Since this is something that has to do with money, 2.5 million, it means that they know that the money is going for this purpose. Okay, so creating that, I have to probably just make another rectangle tool there. By double clicking on this, it puts in the rectangle there. The next thing to be done is to convert that rectangle to curves. You can go to arrange menu and click convert to curves, and that's done. That makes it something I can adjust the shape anyhow I want using the shape tool. So I pick the shape tool now, and maybe delete one of the sides here. By double clicking it, it deletes it. You can see this marking on the side here. If I pick my pick tool now, look at what it shows like. Wow, nothing really shows about it because it is at the background. When you double click a rectangle tool, it goes to the background. That the any other thing is that is on the layer is on above that particular layer. So what will I have to do? Let me leave that one, come and highlight this other one that is standing in front here, right click on it and choose order, send to back of layer. So this is the second rectangle I drew, which I want to use in carving out this shape. So having gotten that, I now come back to my other rectangle, which is this one that is black on black. Now you can see the color, the properties showing here, black on black, means that I'm on the right one. Maybe I can choose the color by clicking on a different color now, so you see, oh, this is the one I'm working on. Back to my shape tool. First of all, bringing in this edge, I have to hold control on the keyboard when I'm dragging so that it will be straight. If I don't hold control, it can move anyhow. So I hold control to just maintain a more steady angle for me. Okay, I'm okay with that point. So it's this is okay. That's one side. Then I now right click this point to make it curve. That segment should be curved segment, and deepen this area, and then using this angle I draw out this other one to give me that, you know, big, that I call big tummy. That's the name that entered my mind. I was trying to be slow about it, but I just have to maintain it as it is. Okay, so that came out that way to contain the pictures we want to use, and this is how it is. You know, I've always said this, graphics is about creativity. The concept that comes to your mind when you want to design, or maybe you have a prototype, you have a picture you are looking at, can as well help you to design. This must have been when I designed it, what came to my mind then. I can decide to change my mind at any time. Okay, and what matters is, do you know what to do when you want to change your mind, or even go in line with what you have in your mind? And that is the exact thing we are learning in this bootcamp. You learn how to convert your thoughts, your imaginations, into real, like realistic designs, whereby people can see and appreciate. Okay, so I wanted to create something like that. I've gotten the first one a little deeper. Okay, maybe this I should go deeper still further. Okay, I want to work with that for now. Next one is to duplicate this. If you have of course you can press plus on the numeric keypad. Just press plus, it will duplicate it for you, making a copy of it. So if you move away now, you can see the second one now, and if you keep on pressing that plus, it keep on duplicating. So I've just made an extra copy of it, and in this second copy of it, you would, picking my shape tool, you will see that the back side is still almost in the same place. Basically, I'm going to flush it into the other shape so that it will not really show, but the front has slight differences. So if I tap on here, pull back the section a little, such that you can see here starts almost blending together, then here it opens up a little further, then towards the ending it blends back to the same origin. So That's exactly what I just tried to achieve there. Get back to that notes, okay. Hold it here and drag a little. So you can see that here at the center it's opening, it's wider here, then closing towards the ending here, and then at this end here it's just tiny opening. So for me, I just want to hold control and then move it a little in, so that's okay. That's okay. I see that the color here is something different from this. Maybe in this instance, let me show us two ways of doing that. Of course, you have learned that severally. If you pick your color eyedropper tool, and then you take the color eyedropper, then you click on this color, it should be able to show you what color it is. Then you click on that shape, it colors it the way it is. And then this place here, we need to bring in that our resource. You know, I showed you this folder. So this time around, what did we import the other time? Okay, we imported this one, so you know how to import now. All right, this time around I'm going to copy and paste. So go to this other folder, highlight these two things, right click and choose copy, or Control+C, Control or Command if you are using MacBook. Then we now Ctrl+V, paste it. So those two things have come in. This one is actually for the top side, so you just size it accordingly. And then this one is for the this shape, the second shape layer, not all of it. So make sure that this one is active. So if I click on this shape now, we have learned about power clip separately, so I think that shouldn't be a problem if it disturbs you. Almost all of my videos I use power clip in it, so either you go back to the previous videos to watch, or you still watch it again over and over. Highlight this, make sure that it is outside so you can be able to see this shape when you want to click. When you want to do, if you put the power clip in front here, you can't power clip it to a shape that is behind it, because the shape is already hidden, you can't access it. What you need to do, let it be outside or just a little away from your point of origin so that you can see clearly. All right, you now go to effects menu, power clip, place inside container, and then you now click on the container, it will go in. The next thing you want to do is to edit the contents in order to set it well. So I right click here and choose edit contents, and moving it with my pick tool, just move it accordingly. I may not really know, can't remember how the other one looks like, but I think I have personal interest in something. One of the things my interest is in, I want to show musical instruments, and I can see that within the frame of our power clip, this guitar has entered. I would have loved to put part of the microphone, but I don't know how possible that will be based on the shape we have. But the guitar has entered, and part of this keyboard has also entered. Those are the two basic instruments I'm seeing there. The other one is mixer. And let me go back and see what I did initially. The guitar was there and part of the keyboard, and as well, truly the microphone couldn't enter because of concepts. So this time I want to edit the power clip again, holding Control on keyboard, then click on the power clip. I call the what do you call this from the frame or the container that opened it for me to edit. So I just want that just a little. I would have desired this microphone to enter, but you see, that's what I'm saying. Design is a matter of inspiration. If it were to be today, I must look for a kind of frame or container that will be able to take part of this. Although basically sometimes when you are designing, you were not designing with this in mind, you just wanted to put anything, then you now remember, okay, it is musical instrument, let me look for musical instrument, and then go online, Google it, look for any picture you find, download, and then use. All right, I want to remove the outlines on those two, so I highlight the two and right click on no color outline. So that gives me a blend of that place. Beautiful. Our work is almost done. The next thing I might want to do, maybe to fill in these small backgrounds. These things are just to not so as not to leave the card plain white. Basically, they have been plain white, and maybe nothing might be wrong with it, or we just choose any color we want, or give it a texture feel. But in this case, I decided to just use this light shadings, and I think they don't look bad. Before then, let me get into the write-up. think that's where I feel like I have some more work to do, typing. So in this case, we'll press the pastor and enter membership of Assemblies of God, Liberation House, pipeline. What's that? Roma Kurusi. PHC. Okay, so I've gotten that first set of writes up there, and they are centered. So with my while the text is being selected, I go to align text alignment and then choose center so that it will be center aligned. The next thing I might want to do is to change the font, but before then I want to just type the next line that says cordially invite. Cordially invite. And I can see that this one is in initial cap case, this one is capital letter auto, while this one is also capital letter. I think it's correct here. Initial cap, capital letter and capital. Alright, that's good. But cordially invite is all small letters. Beautiful. Maybe let me just reduce the size to match the space provided for it here. So here we have that. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I might want to format the font, but for me I still want to type. Let me finish the typing. That's this section of typing. I'm done with that up there. Next thing is to her first anniversary celebration. So we now type in here. Everything that has a different format, I'm going to type them separately so that it will be easy for me to just break them and begin to format them when I'm ready for that. To her first anniversary celebration. So when I break it apart now, each of them will now become an object of its own. But now they are just grouped together because they are text together. Okay, then this side we have plus 2.5 m musical equipment is capital letter, equipment launching. Okay, so that's that. The next thing is the schedule. I think I would suggest that we finish the typing all at once, so that when next we start, we just fire down straight into designing. 15th March is capital, right? You can always change the case anyway. MAR 2020 10 00. Basically I'm supposed to break them apart, but no time. I don't want to get into that now. Okay, this one I want to separate it because it has only 2 layers of format. Church auditorium. Then I'll type the address as much as you want to. When the far away, that's Dallas Road of Road pipeline. Port Harcourt. Alright, you will like doing this because people will send you things to type. Some of them will even call you on phone and the text for you, so you get used to it. You might be lucky, some of them also will type the write up and send to you. You copy and paste, whichever way, get ready to do the job. If you are trying to do it for professional use or business, as for business purposes, you are doing it as a freelancer or professionally as a printer or graphics designer, that will be fine. If you are doing for yourself, you will still type for yourself still. CW Amadi PhD, sectional leader, OBU 1 section. That's one person. The next person comes in here. What did I do? Okay, thank God. I'm not comfortable with that laptop anymore. I want to type a new one. Okay, duplicate this one for me. Let me see in case something has been altered there. Pastor Barry Boma Barry Minister in charge 0806 773. Wait, is somebody's number. Let me not put it. Okay, let me put 006 412 anything. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, that's that. The next thing is church secretary. Okay, I type the phone number 00 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Just type something. Okay, that's basically my interest is not in the content of your typing, although content matters, especially because you need to be sure that you are typing correctly what ought to be put out there for people to see. Then secondly, that you are not making mistakes, typographic errors, spelling errors, and what more, even in your formatting, and omission of words. These are things that usually happen to people. Maybe like you are asked to do a lot of things, and because you want to make your graphics look just as beautiful as you want to be, you intend to ignore, or you tend to ignore or omit some of the write-ups. Don't do that except where necessary. Okay, so here we have the formatting part has now become, I think maybe one of the things I might need to do is to save your work if you want to save. But for me I'm not saving because this is just a mock video I'm making for us. What fonts will I have to use here that will match this purpose? Maybe I just have to maintain what we have there already, hopefully. Let's try Trebuchet. I think that's the font I must have used here. You can see the fonts here, Trebuchet MS. If you don't have this font in your system, you might alert me to send the font to you, or if I remember to, I might package it alongside the resource folder so that you can download it and install. Okay, so what next about it? The middle line is bold and is a different font. That's likely Arial Black. I want to first of all break it apart, so go to arrange menu, break text apart so that everything will be treated as individual objects per line. So Arial Black will be fine for me. Arial Black, good. And quickly I want to maybe just format it by first of all making the size a little bigger from dragging from this corner here, holding shift on keyboard will expand it on all sides. And usually I think I have this lack of love. I have the lack of love for leaving too much cap in between. There are instances whereby it is necessary and sometimes it's unnecessary. I usually like closing these caps once in a while. Just squeeze it in a little with shape tool, tracking on this paragraph mark, so it reduces the spacing in between the characters, so the character can now be more pronounced. Next thing is the Liberation House. Okay, it's more like this is supposed to be a little smaller than the rest of them, so bring it in here so that I'm having something that looks almost like this. Okay, more like triangular setting there, top smaller, bigger, biggest. You can see the way this other one is here. Okay, that might not have been a perfect arrangement, but this is how I'm leaving it now, and I'm cool with that. All black. Cordially in fights. Cordially in fights. The font I'm using here is it's about Amsterdam, right? Amsterdam. Good. Select that. The color I'm using here is more like this color. I don't know the name of this color. Where is it? This color. Okay, using RGB palette, get that. But if I don't really have that color, I could just pick my eyedropper tool as usual and pick on the spots, and now go and click on that object. It will apply the color to the object. So I've gotten the first section of the write-up ready. Remember, we are doing an invitation card. I want to color this my okay, that's good. Next thing is to her first anniversary celebration. So we have the to her, see the way it is written. Breaking this apart first. This is break apart. Shortcut is Ctrl K. So I'm leaving that place. I want to use the shortcut Ctrl K. This to her is slightly an area font. Okay, it's already Arial and it's bold. You can see it there. Smaller or anyhow, just setting it to my test. Then draw this small triangle. I usually like drawing this kind of things once in a while. So convert it to curve. Ctrl Q is a shortcut. Okay, Ctrl Q is a shortcut to convert to curve. Okay, if I say convert to outline object, it's more like restoring it back to wherever you started it from, which is no longer a curve, but I need Ctrl Q, so it becomes a curve as when it was a rectangle. So now pick up my shape to I want to work with this, please. I don't want to work with this. But can't I say do it? No, I don't want that one. I want to make it a curve. Okay, so control to curve, convert to curve is Ctrl Q. This is this one. I don't want the outline object because the outline object gives me layers of this and this to work with. But with curve, I work with all of these as one line. Okay. Maybe I need to illustrate that for you to understand what I'm saying. This is curve now. Okay, start over, delete. Pick a rectangle tool, draw this rectangle to color it red, give the outline blue, then duplicate this thing somewhere here. This one is another lecture I just want to give to us so that you can understand why I said I don't want the outline object and this and red. Convert this one to curve, convert this one to outline object. Alright, now if you convert this to curve, I pick my shape tool and I want to edit. You can see that this thing has one line. If I say delete this place now, it becomes one. But on the outline object, okay, if I say delete this place now, you see that it has taken the fill as one thing. It also takes the outline as a different thing, and even the outline that it was an outline now, it has layers now, whereby there is a layer, this first layer here. I can work with this one separately, and there is another layer here which is this other one. I can work with it separately, and every joint, every point where there was a curve, there is a segment added to it that makes it tedious for my kind of editing in this concept. Not like you might not want it some other time, but for what I want to do now, it is not the type of conversion that I needed. So delete that one. I wanted something like this. Okay, delete this one. What I'm trying to achieve is just to get this small rectangle, which basically you can as well use the polygon tool and then pick 3 sides and then draw your polygon here with control. That serves the purpose. Okay, so maybe I'm going to use this other one and forget the other one. Then now rotate it. By when you click on it again, it puts it in the rotation mode or transformation mode. And now hold control on my keyboard and then turn it until it gives me a perfect 90-degree rotation, and that's cool. So delete this. Okay, the color of this is the same color we used here. It's like this thing is filled about 2-3 colors only. Okay, that's good, and the font's about 2 to 3 too. So we have this, that, but we are not on coloration now. Just call it anything first. Let's move. First, this font we use up there, I can see is the same font that likely applies here on a plain background. So but it's looking bold, so I'm gonna bold on this. I'm gonna use that trebuchet font to see. Yeah, that's it. And then draw this. That color is settled there. first anniversary celebration, because I don't want to come to that place again. Anniversary celebration. Okay, I need to see the font I used there. This is the same font I used here, and this one is a different font. What font was this? Click on it. You see Amsterdam. So I'm going to here, click on it, say Amsterdam. All right. So I cut my. Is it the font? Looks like it's not perfectly like it, but we can use it. Okay. It's more like it. Oh, it is. Okay, we'll use it as it is too. Maybe I need to skew it a little by bending it to this side. You can see the way this other one is bent, as to look like if it is italicized. So to have first anniversary, let me reduce the size of the first and the anniversary together, and let it to group. Ctrl G, then reduce the size a little, bring it into this space the way I just did it that time. There's no law that says you must do that, but for sake of this concept of you trying to do exactly what I'm doing, you might need to do it the same way, because there are many things I want to judge and assess you. Do it the same way. At least let me be sure that you can do it first. You can, of course, you will always imagine different things. You will see many kind of graphics and then choose your concept as much as you want to do. So that's first anniversary. Then next thing is celebration, and the font I use for that celebration is my favorite font, Scriptina Pro. I hope I have it here. Alright, Scriptina Pro or Scriptina, depending on what you have in your system. So that's Scriptina Pro for celebration. Just make it big. Okay, this one is different too. Okay, it's the same. So it was so big that I moved it into to enter under the other one very well. So move it in. Let me extend this side a little further just to match what we have there. That's cool. Just wanted to look closely to this as if I were a student of this subject. Okay, the font ends almost at the top of this other one. Didn't really cross it over, but it's also not beneath it. Okay, so let's get in. Yeah, so about that point, the spacing in between is not that open like this one is. See the same thing, okay, I'll leave it like that. However, I see that the anniversary is bigger than the celebration. Why then? So celebration, you have to be smaller. I don't know how you're gonna do that. I'm gonna squeeze you from this end, and yeah, okay, or maybe I'm going to enlarge anniversary, I think, towards this side a little further, just arbitrary dragging. So that is that. So we were dealing with this and just adjusted that. The next thing is to move this in a little. I think I just want to end that point there and highlight from here to here, and holding shift on keyboard I click this small triangle to be out, delete it and see. Okay, undo. Alright, I want to move that and place it in its rightful place. How was it here? The anniversary came up. Okay, this is pointing rightly to that curved A, which is cool for me there. Okay, that's first anniversary celebration. I can now group all of them together so they can always move together if I want. When I'm ready to format them, I will separate. Then the next thing is 2.5 million musical equipment launching. So I want to assume that the font there is still the same tribute fonts. Any other thing is variance of size and color. So next thing I want to do is to break it apart. Ctrl K on keyboard. I broke it apart. The same thing as saying arrange, break. Okay, that is only one of the. If you say anything as saying arrange, break, artistic text, Ctrl K. You know all that already. So plus is on its own. You can see this. and plus here at the middle. So the plus is just there with a circle beneath it, more like a small background that almost makes it hidden. Okay, this is it. I'm trying to align center, it doesn't work, but I have to convert it to curve. Control C now, because text has some properties that considers the starting point and other places. It has now well centered after converting it to curve now. Then E and C centers it. But remember to send this square that you drew later, send it to the back by right clicking and choosing order. Let me say send to back or back one. You can try that because it needs to send it, keep on sending back one, or control page down until it goes below this other one, so that if you color it like this, you make sure that it is there, instead of when it is like this that the other one is covered. So undo. Okay, we have the 2.5 million naira, just a similar thing, and the font looks cool already here. I don't have to do anything. What is big there? Musical and launching is big. Musical is launching, musical is big. Let me see if I did my own thing of reducing this spacing in between. I like doing that thing. Whatever it is, I don't know. Then equipment spaced, smaller size first of all, but spaced. Okay, so let's paste it this way, while the launching is more like naturally free, the same size of musical. Let me say in this case, go to launching, click, go to edit menu, copy properties from, and I want to copy text properties this time around, maybe okay, and then this, wow, too big. The launching needs to just start from top of the beginning of it and end at the end of that place. So either I'm going to enlarge the musical equipment, but I don't want to enlarge it. Instead, I'm going to work on the move this up a little on the launching. So reduce it till it matches my own. Then maybe the space is already closed, so reduce it. Okay, we are done with that. Next thing is this thing has a layer of black beneath it. So what do? Press plus on keyboard to duplicate it. Okay, then now move one of them upward and then color it. I think this might be the beginning of my coloration. This one has a fountain. You can see this fountain is a blend of one color. This is maybe like this brownish color. I may not know what this color is because the RGB color. Okay, this yellow kind of brown, and this other dark horse blood kind of red. So what do I need to do now? I want to pick the yellow first. Now go to fountain fill. Under fill tools, I take fountain fill, and the second, this is the yellow standing here as a 2-color fountain, not custom. Then the second color, I want to go to here, pick the eyedropper tool, and or maybe I can scroll to see the other color that I'm looking for. If it's not there, let's say this is the color, beautiful, and it's likely it was a fountain, it was a radial fountain, that's what I saw, but it radiated from darker color to the lighter color. So in that case, I might want to get back to the fountain, double clicking here, edits it, and then go to if I say this, no, I don't want it that way. Change this color to the dark one. Okay, then change this color to the light one, and then leave it there. That sorts that out only for the one on top. The other one beneath it is just dark, more like shadow. Let me see the depth of the darkness. The depth of the shadow, I think it's something similar to what I just did now. So just a little to give it that perspective look. Okay, So next thing I want to do is to group them. I click from somewhere and highlight, or if you want to, if you click here now, I want to delete this. If you click on here now, you see that I'm moving things around. So the best way is to do that is, maybe you might right click on this object and lock object, so that when next you click on it, it won't really bother, it won't even move the object anywhere. So I let it and click group, Ctrl G. That has taken care of that section. Then I also group this place, move it to its appropriate place. That subject is, there's no outline there, so remove the outline by right clicking on that no color field. And the color, I think I've started coloration because of this thing. I wanted to see the blend of these two places, and it's on that light, that yellow, okay, and the plus sign is on the white color. I think that's what it is. It's more like supposed to be hidden somehow. It's not part of what is supposed to be pronounced based on the concept of the designer then. Okay, and these people, to her first, let me keep the background to the first. Okay, so the ungroup this, go to here to ungroup. That's Ctrl U is a shortcut, Ctrl G is a group shortcut, Ctrl U again to separate it. Okay, you didn't ungroup. How many times have you grouped yourself? Wow, many layers of grouping. Okay, this is the color. Like I said before, you can see that this one is above this other one, but the other one ought to be on top. So what do I need to do now? Maybe undo. I can look for this one now while it is still there and click. If I cannot click on that text, so I click this in, choose order, hold on, then back one. Shortcut is Ctrl plus page down. Back one just sends it one step below. Let me see that one step below. Yes, thank God, has gone below this other one. So next time when I color it brown, the other one is still there. So I remove my outline and now color this other one white. Next is if you do that back one, it doesn't get into the point, you keep on doing it, or you just send it straight to the back of layer, whereby you now say order send back of layer. In other words, if there are 500 and things, 1 million, it will be the last one beneath. In fact, it will even go below this one that we locked, this object that we locked. Remember this background that we locked. So I don't want to unlock it, but just to show you how it could be done. Here is anniversary celebration. Anniversary also have a similar kind of concept, whereby there is a black shadow beneath it, and this one is a gray shadow beneath it. Okay, so anniversary has a similar shading as the launching, so I don't even need to bother myself again. Go to edit menu, okay, do like this, put the two of them side by side so you can see. Go to edit menu, copy properties from this one. We're copying not text properties but fill, okay, of this. And I also have to make this duplicate while I'm moving it as if I want to move away. Then I right click before dropping it to duplicate it and color it black. And because this one ought to be under the other one, so in my usual way I have to send it to the back, but I know that this is the last thing. There are many things I've created after that. Create all this and all this and all this and all this. It will take me almost forever to send it to the back by using Ctrl page down. For instance, now Ctrl page down, it doesn't really move. But if I say shift and page down, it goes straight, but it goes beneath that other layer that is being locked. So from that bottom side now I can now tap it up by Ctrl and page up. It quickly comes in under where I want it to be. I can now set it to my own taste by nudging it, and that's okay. Next is a celebration. Celebration, what color are you and what kind of feel are you? Celebration is a plain color uniform feel. This brown, is it brown or horse blood? Please pardon me. That's a color for there. So now take it in. I'm taking only color, so that sorts it out. To her is the same color, and I just have to that small arrow is what the same color too. So just pick that out, and then the next thing I want to do is to highlight all of this together and choose group. Where is it? Group, Ctrl G. Okay, most of the time it's me pressing Ctrl G, and this one has been grouped too. I can now move them together. Maybe make this one a little larger to meet up the size of the other one. Okay. So that's that on this side. That's that on that side. The next thing is to put the schedule. To draw this thing, I think one of our lecture we have had something to do with this object, this 1 2 3, and by way of improving on our skills, we want to import a whole drawing into it, and then inside that drawing we now lift 1 or 2 things out to be able to make use of. But before then, I need to save this thing in case system hangs for any reason. So go to file menu and choose save or save as. I'm using save, and now go to my desktop. Let me go to that resource folder and just put it there for now, invitation card. Alright, save. Then I want to go into import in file menu, imports. What I'm going to be looking out for is more like one of the drawings we had that time. I don't know where that drawing should likely be. Presentation expo. So I want to import expo. Double click on that expo, drop it here. What I want to lift from there is basically these 3 icons: the dates, schedule, time, and location icon. The ones I used there is what I want to use now. I knew that we drew this thing, so you also go to your own old drawing and bring this in, because once in a while you might need to lift things from drawing to drawing, else you might starting all over and drawing from beginning to the end is not ideal for a veteran graphics designer. For you to have been designing for a long time, it means that you have these things. Sometimes you sit down and begin to create logos of each of your clients or each of your prospective clients, or different schools, different churches, different organizations, and then possibly, if you are a business person that is very smart, begin to send their logos to them and ask them to give you some more works to do for this stuff like that. Just advertise yourself if you want to do. You have the time, and then you know what to do again. So I'm picking this. I will pick this, and I will pick this, plus this shift plus that. Hold on. Plus that, holding my shift and clicking the next one moves me in. So I'm lifting those 3 into let's say this side, but good enough. 2 are colored red, 1 has no color. I need to color all so that I can see them while they're on the white background. The first one here is the dates. Oh, first of all, before let me format the text. 15th is big, March 2020 is small. So you can see when this thing was designed. Okay, 15th. What font is that? That's Area Black or thereabouts. Okay, Franklin Gothic, I would say so. You can use that, or maybe I hope I remember this font to put them for you. Area Black. Let me see Area Black how it will look like. It doesn't really look like that. Let me see Franklin Gothic. Demi would make sense for me, right? That's likely the font there, but you can use whatever you have that matches your text. Just TH is small letter. Okay. Getting the design. 15th together and big. So I'm breaking this apart. Ctrl K breaks it apart. I break it further apart. Ctrl K again after getting the second line. 15th is very big there, and after that 15th, the next thing is March 2022 broken to a smaller output. So I want to combine this two again, this and this. Ctrl L combines them. Arrange menu. Ctrl L combines them. Okay, and they are not center aligned or right aligned. It's slightly left aligned. So move it in here, and now double clicking there to activate the text to break it to the next line. Pick my shape tool and close up the cap in between. then reduce the size to my test. Make sure that the up and down fits into this place, so it becomes 15, and this 15 I also have to close the cap further so that it will have weight. And maybe my alignment should be left alignment, and then that's it, 15th March 2020. Okay, next thing is oh, that's tiny. Oh, zooming out. What do I do? Enlarge it. Enlarge it. You can always enlarge it to your test, bro, or reduce it anyway until you're satisfied. Next thing is 10 a.m. Where is 10 a.m.? Okay, 10 a.m. is already here. So 10 is also standing out on its own. .00 and a.m. is next in line. Did we have similar concepts here? No, we didn't, else I would have just lifted it to use. So we have our 10 here. So click this and bring the rest of them. Please left align it for me to make life easy. Ctrl K breaks it apart, and the 10 is likely very big. .00 is just next in line in terms of size, smaller, and the whole of that .00 and the AM fit into the space of that 10. So it's more like the same concept we use on the other one applies here. I didn't see clearly. I would have duplicated those ones to use. Let's see. You can see .00 AM 15 March. So what I'm going to do now is highlight this, go to edit menu, copy properties from, and then click OK. What? Copy properties from, sorry, alternate, and E goes to edit menu, and while that is teaching you computer now, you can see this M is highlighted, so I press M on keyboard, and what I want to copy is text properties, not field, this and so text properties, and then okay, that makes it as big as that other one is. Then this one too will copy the text properties of this one, EM, and that. Take note of what I did: alternate, E, and then M. While I'm holding alternate now, if you look at, you can see that E is highlighted here. All the menus have shortcuts. The button that will activate the shortcut, like tools menu, is activated by O, not T. T activates table menu, and all that. Text menu is activated by X. These are things you do because you've spent a lot of time in front of the PC. You can always, or maybe the first lecture note I sent to you carries all those shortcuts. I've sent that to you, and then you can work with that to know. It will take you time to learn that one. If not, pass through the normal routes. Edit menu, copy properties from. We're taking text properties. Let's copy this. Okay, we've done that already. We'll now bring it in here, and we center align it E so that they'll be together. Group them together this time around. Move it to the front of this. Next is the church auditorium, and in this case too, everything is also aligned to the left. So, and all the characters are the same except the church auditorium being bigger than the rest of them. So we go to Franklin Gothic Demi as it is. This is okay. This one, the second lines are very tiny. What should I do? Take this one out. So Ctrl X cuts it out there. I want to paste that Ctrl X somewhere here so that I can reduce this onto my test. Probably I want to use the character of this smaller guys to format this. So Ctrl EM or alternate EM gives me that. That still looks big, but I'm better off with that a little. Then I'll reduce the size to my test, and maybe the spacing is just too tight. Okay, now I'm bringing this marker, and I can see that something that was very small the other time now has become suddenly big. Extend it to my test. Let's see how this other one is. Yeah, it's bigger, far away from the rest of them, which I just did now. And because it's a text I want to be written, it's not for graphics purpose, I may not have to close so much cap because the text is much. You know, there are purposes for everything you do. So next thing is I'm grouping that, arrange menu, group. After the grouping, what happens is that I need to just size it accordingly now. Sizing up everything. See the way this one, everything almost matches the same line, but it's some about 2 lines protrude downwards. So what do? Pick this, and pick this, and align top. T on keyboard does the alignment for you. Likewise, U and U align center. E on keyboard does that. So Control G groups it. Okay, so moving this to the somewhere there. This is location map. I'm putting it there. I'm using the original location icon I used that time. This is a time icon. This thing is grouped. I want to remove the one of the colors here, and that's time icon. So if you ungroup it, and then you'll be able to delete one thing, or you move it away to see which one you are deleting. The next one is how about the sizing? I'm okay with the sizing. This size is too big. What size is this? 9.6, no, 3.542 by 3.542. So I'm going to maintain these two locked here, and I'll say 3.5442. Did you hear me? 3.542. Enter. Okay, that automatically sizes it up for me to the same size of the other one. So the next thing is make sure that I align the center. E on keyboard, post it on the center. So I'm putting them together. Alright, that one stands, this one stands, this one stands. Okay, hey guys, I think that's just the way it is. Okay, then the footer part being these signatories or the hosts. The font here is looking like area font is a normal area which is already there, and the first line is black, second line is that our horse blood or whatever color we call the green. Align. And because I am not certain, when I was typing this thing, I noticed the way I dragged this first line somehow I'm not satisfied with it, so I want to copy the properties of this one to that other one. Okay, they seem to be the same. Alright, let's get back to this. Everything is bold, but first line has black color, the rest of them a different color. So everything here is bold. Okay, maybe possibly I might have to close up some caps a little, just a little, and then close it up this way too, transfer spacing. Then highlight this and highlight this, go to edit menu, copy properties from text properties, and then into this. And because majority of the lines have this color, so I'm going to highlight all of them and take that color first, then now go back to the first lines only, position this to its place. So I have to reduce all of this. It's more like they're taking up more space than the format took, so reduce it further, then bring them to their places. Okay, double clicking on this activates the text tool. Now highlight the first line, color that one black, highlight this one first line, color black. You can as well break it apart before you do that, but you need to learn things in multiple ways. You mustn't always break apart, but if the design is not complex like this one now, highlighting that first line alone, even if you want to highlight only one character and color it while the rest are black or any other color, you can still do that. But when the color concept is far advanced, you can't do that to a grouped or joint text or combined text. So by this now we have successfully placed all the basic write-up. I want to enlarge it a little because that's the main thing that we are doing here. We have basically placed all our write-ups together, and it is ready for I think it's good to go. I just see that this place is looking tinier than what it is here. Maybe I have to stretch it. Maybe I have to stretch it this way too. Okay, just to give us what hey, 2.5 is very tiny in between the I and M and a different color. Even as it's even here, you can see that it's looking very odd. It's not supposed to be so. Okay, in between okay, and this, and it has this blood color. And maybe I'm picking my rectangle tool to draw two lines across this end to show. In other words, I'm converting the end that is supposed to be just an ordinary letter into something that becomes a symbol of currency by striking those two notes, since I don't have that font or any font that does that kind of striking naturally on end. And in this Excel, or sorry, in this CorelDraw, you don't have double strike through effects. You might have a strike through effect anyway. Okay, I think there's double strike through effects too on that font. We'll deal with that when we're working with text exclusively. Okay, so that's done. Let's get into some. Okay, there's something here to be designed again. Wow. Okay, I would have said let's get into the background. Before then, we've been able to lay out all these parts. Let me just do some shadings here to make my work sweeter for me to look. I want to unlock this object. Unlock by right clicking on it, and it's white color. Pick up another rectangle here, reduce it to this place, and color it. I think it's this color, this light color. Yes, but I have to send this one to the back. Shift down, then bring this one to the front. Okay, is that the color? Very light color. Something like this, even lighter still, something like this. Okay, the color doesn't exist, no problem. I know what to do. We're going to make use of this color, but we will then transpire it, picking transparency tool and giving uniform transparency, then expanding our transparency level until we have what we want. But the color still seems to be a little different. Let's try this one. Okay, or we can do a combination of just things. Maybe we have picked the inspiration of the color from basically from this place. See this place looking like it, or more like this place. So if I pick this eyedropper tool and pick the color here and apply it to this one, no, it's not that color, this other one. Now I also discovered that this my thing was too much downwards, so and apply this color, eyedropper tool, take this color and apply it to it here. Alright, now let's remove the transparency and see how far. Remove the transparency, it's still dark, so let's add the transparency back. Expand it a little. Okay, that's where I'm gonna leave it, and I think it's cool. Can be my screen deceiving me or my eye deceiving me, whichever way, or as me itself not picking the right color, but I've shown you the way it could be done. So if you have a different concept about it, try it out. Then here we have, I can see that these things are still tiny here. Okay, assuming every other thing here is correct, because my date is looking tiny in my eyes, I have to enlarge these two guys, enlarge them. Go to this one and group Ctrl G, then make it closer here. I want it to be as bold as what I'm seeing here. Okay, this one may not be bad, but I have to enlarge this location guy. And the way it even is here is more like it's a different setup. Okay, take note, what I'm doing now was just to copy the other one and paste. I'm not going to redrawing. You can reshape it to anyone if you want to. This one I just want to rotate it, bringing it to this point, then turn it a little so that it doesn't look straight, since the one we're working with doesn't look straight. Okay, what next? These 3 spikes, 1 2 3. I pick a rectangle tool, and draw, let's say, 3 rectangles or 3 columns just to show something. Don't know what that design stands for, but that's what I did back in the days. So this is it, and then I want to duplicate this by this side. So I have that 3, and I want to copy the this color here, possibly mirror the same level of transparency of this object since I'm using the same thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, copy properties from fill this time around from this sky, which is done. Now pick transparency tool and also copy transparency properties from the same sky. Good. So bring it into this place now, and then rotate it accordingly. It's a mirror like an 45-degree inclination. The same thing that I say is the same thing here. So if I put it here and now bring it up here, it's the same thing that gets duplicated up there. That's there. Then also bring it to this side, and you can see that the upper side, this side now also has these 3 lines. So that's good. I love that concept. Then here I just duplicated this one, then flip it, or otherwise remember that before I duplicate is to right click before dropping. We've learned this thing over and over again, so no challenge there. Okay, but this side is up down, so what do I need to do? Flip it the other way around too. Flip and flip this, so we have that. Okay, I've gotten that 4 points. Please holding down shift on my keyboard, click on this one, click on this one, and now go to effects menu, power clip, place inside the container, and this is our container, that shape we created. Click on it, so it all falls within the bounds of that shape. You can see the difference when you have that shape in place. Anything you want to design, you fall it into that, within that background. But because I don't want this overlapping of colors here, so I have to also get back into the shape, or maybe send what do I do here? Get into the power clip and send to the background. I have a shortcut for that, but because you don't know, I have to go back to power clip, send this one inside the container. Still I want to kind of edit, I want to kind of work on them, so that I don't like this. You can see this one is blending perfectly, but this other one is not blending. So what will I need to do is to highlight this, and highlight this together. Either I'm going to weld them, okay, you see weld here, weld them together so they become one and have the same properties. That will serve my purpose there. Okay, we are done with this side, but the margin I'm leaving here, I can't really see. There should be separation margin there. The margin, I want the right up to start at where the logo starts, at least. Okay, they are the same level. There's a line here I forgot to draw. This line, cordially invite. Basically, a line is provided for somebody's name. In some instances, a box could be written there, and maybe why the line was provided, because this card doesn't have background. It's just a white card and a very light background, meaning that anybody can write on it and it don't bite. But if the background has elements in it, the stick, you might need to put a box and color that box a light color, so that when somebody writes pyro on it, it will show. Okay, with that we are done with that part. And now see that everything we've done here is more like designing the stuff that we made of. But hey, look at anniversary ribbon here standing by to be pinned on somebody's clothes. Let's quickly draw this. I want to delete this guy. I don't need them. I wanted to just pick those 3 things, and I've done. So delete this guy. Also highlight this together and then group them. So that if I move it now, I can move it as one object. We're almost done with the card. The envelope will be a matter of displacement of objects or rearrangement. Drawing this now, I know that all of us have idea about how these things could be done, but let me just quickly do it. So I'm drawing the first rectangle circle, this one inside here. That's small circle. Then I will draw another second layer of circle here by duplicating it. We have this one now 1, we'll have this one now 2. I think that's all about it. And they have very let me say, they have a kind of feel that looks like this, but this feel I can't really get it right away. I'm going to use my sense of geography to decode that feel. Okay. For now, allow me to color it plain here, send it to the back, and then color this one a plain but different color. Put the outlines as they should be. Make it, that's by right clicking on the color, go to outline pen dialog box by clicking at that point, and then making it like 1 point or 1.5 points. Let's see 1 point first. Okay, I think 1 point is good enough. Maybe a more yellowish outline. Okay, that's that. My interest is not in the colors now, it's in the drawing of the entire shape. Now I can see something here. See this shape, one side is straight. It's not like me making a ribbon, like someone's cutting ribbon. So I'm trying to cut my ribbon and place all over that rectangle. If I pick a rectangle to just draw a small rectangle around here, for instance, and now convert it to curve, convert to curves. Now right click and then maybe pick my shape tool, and one side is straight, one side is curved. I'm just going to do something that looks more like a small, this side is, okay, let's say this side is straight, the other side is curved. So I hold this side, I click and change to curve, and the straight side gives room to first bend, and then the curved side. Okay, so the straight line gives room to this bend. Hold on, let me use this handle to move it, and then here I want to reduce this side by reducing this place, or I just bring this one down and then tilt this one up a little, tilt this one up a little, so that from here now we have this bend that comes into this place. It's more like the concept upon which that design was created. Okay, there is no rule. You would have even made it perfect round ribbon and it will still be fine, but I'm going to work with this. First of all, let me put it at the center of this rectangle. At this juncture, it will be fine for me to do the coloration, so that when I duplicate it, I know that I'm certain about what I'm doing. So what color do we use? They are the blend of the same color that was here, and it's going this way. So I'm going to pick this color to match, to represent the outer layer. Then I'm going to pick this color to represent the inner concept. This color, right? So I've taken the outer color now. Let me go to the inner color, being this one, and it's a fountain feel that is shading out from center to the outer part, or from outer part to the inner part. Okay, let me remove the outline. Yes, that looks good for me. Maybe let me close up this side a little, so that this the round hand, that white center will just be close to the edge a little further. And if I like it, okay, I want to use that. Listen, I'm not necessarily going to count how many of these ribbons have been duplicated around this object. I'm just going to, I know that if I hold control on my keyboard, it will give me 15 degrees. And the best way, I want to make my center of rotation to be the center of this circle. You can see the center now as I'm dragging the center. Hold on, click on this object, that's selection, click on it again, it puts it in transformation mode. And that transformation we want to do is a rotational transformation, whereby I want to rotate it. So I now go to this center of rotation, or anchor point of rotation, or what we call the pivot, the fulcrum. Now bring it to this place, so that all my rotation, it will be based on that center. It won't just be arbitrary. I'm not going to like stand here, let's say like now, and say rotate like this, move it, then when you finish rotating, now move it to this place. That's barbaric. That's not the way. So here we go. move it to the center here, center of the circle, make sure that it's marked, and I now put in rotation mode, and hold my control on my keyboard to see as close as it should be. I just want it to be that close. This is 15 degrees. Control is giving me 15 degrees, which is spacing it too much for me. I wanted it to be a little closer, but if I get this now, I want something, a number that can be divisible by 360. You can see, look at this place, angle of rotation. I'm looking at that angle. Any number that can easily divide by 360 will be good for me. 10, 15, 12, some of those numbers like that. That's what I want, so that when it goes round, it will be easy for me to be sure that it will go through. So I'm gonna use 12 degree. 12 degree. All right. Then I right click before dropping. That has sorted me out. 12 times 3 makes 36. Meaning that we're gonna need 30 of that shapes to run around the center of our orbit. So I've done one. Next thing, hold control on the keyboard and then press R. Just press it down. It will run it around the shape, and perfectly we have gotten our ribbon. And that ribbon is supposed to be behind every other shape. So clicking on this one and then this one, then hold shift and page up so that they will come up to the upper side of the layer, and then abandon the other one. Oh, I can see that there's a small part of this, meaning that this outline here has nothing to do with this document or with this shape. The shape is on its own, the outline is on its own. So hey guy, move the outlines. What color is this? It's more like this. Also, in fact, it's the same color of this same one. So copy properties of this. That is the color that marks that one, and the same color also applies in here, in my estimation. So we've gotten this, but this one is a little darker. Let me see how far maybe just a little. Okay, gotten that. Let me apply that outline now to be sure that everything is perfect for me. Just reducing it a little. Right click to drop it, then remove the fill by clicking on the no color, and then color the outline as much as I want. Move the outline size to, let's say, 1.5 points. Okay, that has delineated it from the other, but it's more like the coloration there is a little darker than what we used here. So what am I going to do now? I need to close the center up further. So come to this shape that has the this other shape here that has this fountain. Double click the fountain fill. Now go into, you see this midpoints. I want the brownness to be darker, to come closer to the center more than the other side. So I move it towards this side a little. There's almost 85% of it should be brown, should be darker. That gave me what I'm looking for there. Likewise, I duplicate the second point to wherever I want it to be. In this case, just around there. And the inner one is already pronounced, well pronounced. I don't need to do anything again about it. So we have gotten that setting. My only challenge is that this one is not as dark as I think it should be. So more like I'm supposed to make it also flush by 85%. But before then, let me see. Go to, it was 50 on each by default. That is halfway. Let's say 85. Just type in 85 here. 85. Yeah, you can see that it becomes a little darker than the other one that it was before now. But I'm not comfortable then. Please, I'll maintain it as it is now. Okay, I'll maintain it like that. You can tweak it around if you want to. There's no time. Is there anything remaining there? Yes. This other part of the ribbon. This color is not as perfect as this, as I'm seeing. It's more like something like this. Done like this into this. Take this into that. Okay, let's write first 1 st. Let me use area black. I don't care. Area black. They're looking somehow awkward. Let me use area. Okay, I think area is better for me. Make that one bold. Increase it in size perfectly, and then reduce this one. This font is not it. Should I use Trebuchet MS? I think this looks good for me, but it's still looking tiny. Okay, I have to manipulate it my way. So convert it to curve. Right click, convert to curve. What? I did not say convert to text, I say convert to curve, not paragraph text. Okay, so now take my shape tool and enlarge the thickness of these fonts manually, just so that it could look like what I'm seeing there, and then reduce the size of this guy still manually. See, manipulation is something you will learn to do as a graphic designer. Manipulate anything you want to manipulate to give you what you want. Okay, so I can even bring a tree and plant a tree on top of this one, so that just anything. It's all about creativity. You have to think about. If you know how to do them in separate parts, you can always combine them together to form one. And we're using Trebuchet MS. I like how beautiful that character is. I love it. Okay, align top T, color white, and that's how I want to leave that place. But this font is not it. It's actually area fonts or area black. Any of the two will go. Let me not deceive myself. Area font it is. Okay, yes, that's the font. So, but because I've already done this, I don't want to get back into this again. But I can see there is area fonts there. Area font is available in all systems. Just search for it. So, anniversary celebration comes in next. So pick my tool, anniversary celebration. So just type it and round it around, wrap it around that the orbit of this one of these. Let's say this one, or any of them you like. So I want to highlight it as this. Pick this path, for instance, the other part. Text menu, fit text to path. Anniversary is supposed to be on its own, Abby. Then celebration on its own. What do I do now? Edit, cut out celebration, leave anniversary alone. Okay, cut it and paste it there with the shape tool or with the text tool. Make it bold. Make this bold. Okay, let me span it out a little. Further. That character is looking very big for me, so let me reduce the character small. There's 12. Make it 10. Let's see, 10, 11, 11. Okay, and now I might want to add some more paragraph spacing to the character. Paragraph spacing. Okay, that makes it cool. Then I'll space it out from the center. Alright, that's the much I want to leave a place, guys. Anniversary starts there and ends there. It's not then the middle point is the star shape we're using, a 5-star. Okay, 5 blade star. So that's 5 here. Pick my shape tool and then curve in this portion from the middle point here. Drag it in a little. The 5-star. Okay, and adjust it accordingly. Then we have that is done there. This guy is supposed to be yellow color. In fact, let me color it yellow. Okay, and I don't have much time to do a new thing, so I want to break it away from the path. But before then, let me pick the same color, the same text properties for this other guy, so that but do color black for now until I'm done. But the text property is important. So go to highlight this. While this is being highlighted, go to text menu, no, arrange menu. So break text apart. I'm separating it from the part because I want to make so that same part to put this other one. So you could use this one anyway, but I just wanted to use that one. The same part, text, fit text to part. Okay, and this time around I want to mirror text this way and mirror it this way. Then I might want to manually drag it, bring it to wherever I want it to be. See how I manually dragged it? When you highlight the text, there is this handle here behind it. So by that handle, I just, after setting it this way, the way I wanted it, now we can pull it around, you can pull it in and or out of that orbit. So I pull it out of that orbit. Okay, I think I've gotten that celebration part at the bottom side. 11. I want to make it 11.5, so I do fill in further and possibly bring down this one a little. But I'm not going to go back to adjust this other one again. Please, guys, bear with me. The video is already long, and that's that. But it's good because we are building it from scratch. Okay, building it from scratch is always, is my own way of always showing you repeatedly how things get done, repeated, because the more you see it, the more you get used to it, and you keep on repeating a similar set of instruction over and over and over again till you get used. So I'm picking my rectangle to draw this this hanging ribbon, and then convert it to curve. Like you can convert to curves, then pick the shape tool. You will need these tools a lot, the pick tool and the shape tool, because you always curve things if you want to. Okay, just move this part in a little, right click this segment and choose to curve, and maybe you move it in a little using this central point is what I want to do. Likewise, right click this side and choose to curve. You might want to move this central point already, but if you do it that way, it means I have to adjust the place, so it doesn't look like this thing even stand at the center. Okay, and because ribbon is more like a physical shape, except you're trying to make it more like 3D, whereby you can have perspective. In that case, it could be a different concept. Outside that, it should have similar arrangement from start to finish. Not necessarily compulsory, because angles and perspectives can be different. So that's that one. Put it here. It's looking too thick and too big. Okay, I want to use it that way. So just rotate it and put it that way. Then that's bigger. Duplicate it to this side, and then flip it by clicking on this place. That's mirror horizontally. I have one side, I have one side here. But on this other side now, I just want to do something different a little by double clicking on it and then choosing the same shape tool again. When I double click it, activate step shape tool. I can now bend this one small. You know that sometimes ribbons used to fly, and while it's flying, dangling, the bend might not be straight all the time. It can squeeze anyhow, but the starting point and the ending point might always be something similar to each other, and that's what I just tried to do here, so that I can see how it's being done. And so maybe one of them is even a little shorter than the rest of the other one. I don't give you a specific code about that. Just draw me that hanging ribbon there. That's okay. Group together. What's the coloration? The same color we use here. Hey guys, so copy properties from, remember edit menu, copy properties from, and I want to copy from maybe this guy. Okay, that guy has it. That guy has a property that I want. Well, let me copy from this guy. Okay, yeah, I want to use that. The next thing is that this thing has an outline around it. Maybe I just put an outline. Was this the outline I used that time? I don't know. So copy, edit menu, copy properties from, this time around outline pen and outline color. I leave the fill, and the outline I want to use is this outline. So click on it. That's cool. Next thing is right click, order, send to back of layer. That's done. One of these ribbons is looking sickly. Let me stretch it a little, right? They look like ribbon that has eaten food. Okay. Group. Yes, highlighting all of this together and then choosing Ctrl G. Now lift it into a place like this. Okay, you're gonna put it that way here. I like it also touching this point of launching. In that case, I might even want to hold Control and clicking on this so that I can adjust it a little further until it fits to the concept of my design. Or where does it start? Okay, it also starts at the middle of this line. So that line is also the middle point for it. Okay, it's cool. Now and now highlight this one. Everything has been grouped together already, so pick this one up, only this section, and bring it to the top of the page. Shift page up the top of the layers. Sorry, you go below, order, behind of this one, that is of this one. All right. Okay, I think we are done with that design. So you can see that the card is ready. I want to delete this one. It's not more useful to me. But before you finally delete it, you might need to verify that every write-up is complete and everything is in place before you press delete. Okay. Always remember this thing. Leave a safe margin. This is an envelope. Envelope already has a place to mark it around. Leave a safe margin for cutting. Okay, this is card. Please give margin for cutting so that after cutting you will have some, the cutting will not maybe the cutter will not make mistake to cut into your logo. It will not be fine. I used to see some textbook that the text has been cut off. That is because either someone made mistake along the line, that something went wrong. Okay, don't let that not be you. Some clients won't forgive you. They want you to reprint the whole thing. Give that sufficient margin for it, and that is cool. And even if without printing and cutting purposes, it is always good that you leave margin. Even when you are doing write-up, even in Microsoft Word, there's a place we call margin. Keep that cap. It makes your work beautiful. If you are doing school project and you want to bind, it provides space for binding without cutting the character. Margin is very, very important. So leave sufficient and reasonable margin. It shouldn't be that too big so that it doesn't look like if you don't know what you were doing. Okay, that's cool for me. So the card is done. I want to group the card and keep it there. Next thing I want to do is design an envelope. Maybe I want to go to page 2. Page 1 is on card, and I'm using multiple layout arrangements. I want to go to page 2 now. Okay, before that, let me export the card. Please, if you can do this thing, I would like it this way. When you finish editing, go to highlight it like this and then go to file, export. Now when you click on export, let me put it in my resources folder, called resources folder, put it invitation card, save it there. That's my export. And the format, hold on, cancel, export. The format I'm using is PNG. either you use PNG or you use JPEG. Any of those two formats together, but I think PNG is good, okay, so that we don't have an issue. And then the color profile is RGB. JPEG can give you options of CMYK, but for you, you're going to use RGB, okay. And transparent RGB is a type that maybe if you are exporting only logo, it will not color the background white or black for people to see. It leaves it transparent, so that maybe like for people that wants to do other things with it, they can use, like this picture now was a transparent PNG that I brought in. Outside that, the whole of this will be shaded white, so you might need to consider. But if the thing has background already and everything is perfectly shaped, you don't need a transparency over it. And like this ribbon now, if you want to export only this ribbon now, you can use transparent PNG, because that way gives you option of using the ribbon as picture, but it is already cropped out, no other thing will follow it, and it doesn't have a white or black shading behind it. Okay, so I'm using that. Maybe you can try them out and see how they would be. And that is that. Export. So that is being saved. Let's quickly make a card. We are considering that this is a card. Let's quickly make an envelope. We are considering that this is a card. So that's page 1. Page 2, I want to add page. You see, my first page was standing like it's a landscape page, because I'm using this option. The second page is portrait, because in other words, I have a right to change different settings for my page. Let me say this second page I want to use envelope 9, which is envelope, the smallest size of envelope for official purpose, okay, which is more like a standard for envelopes, official envelopes. And if I go back to the first page, you see it's still remaining like it was. But if I set my page to be all pages, any setting I'm using goes to all pages, meaning that if I choose envelope 9 here, I go to my page 1 and change to, let me say, get to envelope 9. This is page 1. Page 2 will have the same thing. And now come back here, while I'm here, and now change to A5. It becomes A5 here on page 2. If you go to page 1, it will still be the same A5. This pattern now, whereby you do like if you are doing a magazine work or textbook, whereby all the pages have to be the same. But when you are doing multiple graphics, you might need to do those differences. However, sometimes too, you may not need all that. Just group one of them, keep by the side here. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. Then the second one, you now change your page with or without altering anything. In other words, delete the second page. I'm not in need of it. Right click and delete. Then come back here and choose envelope 9. So while this one is standing by the side, is already a finished card work. You want to fit this card into the envelope so that it will give you what you want. In other words, card and envelope are supposed to go together, but we want to just design a separate envelope for this samification, and let's see how it goes. My own way of doing this is, the first thing, I fit everything to page. Fit it within the boundary of my media. In this case, my media now is going to be the envelope. Then the next thing is see how to distribute the write-up across board without distorting it. If I just do like this now, highlight it and say, oh yeah, squeeze and fill here, I might end up distorting my write-up, which is not professional. What you need to do, I just undo now. What you need to do is to, having done this, you might need to ungroup your thing. Go to arrangement, ungroup, or it's also here. It's also here in the property bar to ungroup. So ungroup it. Maybe go to this power clip. Let me say, if I say edit content now, you will see edit, everything will see fall back within the boundary of that box. The first thing I'm going to do is to extract content. In this case, extract content, leave it in the open space. Okay, doesn't have anything to worry again. So I now delete that square. Remember the square that I put on the other page and that helped me with the setting of whatever I place my things. Delete it, and now double click on this rectangle to place a different square around here for me. excuse me. So having placed a different square around here, now the next thing is then to now move these things to the corners of my square. But remember, this is an envelope, and if you want to print it, you might need to give what we call creeping space based on the kind of printer you have and you want to use in printing. Printer will need space to hold the envelope while printing, so you might need to give sufficient space for that. And I think I just did that now for sake of what we are doing now. I want everything to start and end within this period or this space, so put that one there. Bring this one. Oh, this one I've already grouped it, no problem. Bring it in here. Let's see, put it same level at the left corner. Now how do we do this? Pick my shape tool, click on the object, stretch this center. The center doesn't have any irregular shapes in between, so I just stretch that center only. You see now it doesn't really bother anything. Then here highlight the whole of this together, all of that ribbon and cool. Likewise this other background and cool, ribbon and cool. First of all, let me move the background to the edge of this thing. So while holding the background, while highlighting this, holding shift on keyboard and clicking the next one, can now group it Ctrl G, and now hold shift on keyboard and click on the outer border of this my next border, then Ctrl R, or not Ctrl R, just R to align it to the right. Likewise, I move these things away from wherever they were and put them closer to the border of that envelope. You see, I'm distributing it. Maybe this one might require some more. Move this one up a little. I don't want it to cross because I want it to maintain the same standard, that whenever you see it, you will know that this is the same envelope. Okay. In some instances, it might not okay if the envelope was to be a long one, like standing like this now. Maybe this one will be on top, another one will be beneath, another one will be beneath. As in, this one can be on maybe this one will be on top, this picture might be beneath at the center here, while the write-up come below. Just watch websites. When you see a responsive website, open the website using computer, then open it using a tablet phone, then open it using a small handheld smartphone. You will see that the background or some of the write-ups will be changing their positions to match the device you are using. That is what we call responsive website, and that's something you can do in your graphics. When you are designing tool like this, you move things accordingly so that it doesn't really change what people will see, but it compresses some things and also maybe emphasizes more on some things that are important. So here now I stretch this line to cross there, and these people now they need more breathing space because it's now white. So I'm stretching it. Take note, I'm always stretching from the corner here instead of dragging from here to fill, instead of dragging it like this and distorting the text. It's not recommended to do that way. Okay, just stretching from the corner, and this one too, stretch it. I like these three together, then stretch it from the corner here. You see that the envelope seems to have like longer space to stretch, and because the card, instead what the card did, that the card abandoned several spaces untouched. Now with envelope, now most of these spaces will be closed up by the stretching of the other write-up. In other words, the envelope might fit the work more than the card. Whichever way, let's see how it goes. Likewise on this one, I also have to stretch it, and maybe if the stretching is going to give me headache, I now move the write-up, space them manually, move it away from each other. So there is more space on this side than when we say this to this. Now move this other write-up here. I'll move this background here. So we've gotten that shading on the background side, and we've gotten the top side. Almost everything is aligned. So you can see that envelope and the card almost look alike. So here, bringing this one a little to this side because just to maintain our shape, but the write-up cannot follow it that much. The write-up can't follow the envelope that much because the space available is not enough to stretch. So remember that you have to leave a space in front of this for people to write on. So I'm going to reduce this guy further. If I'm too bothered, I can move one side of it away and move the other side of it away, but I'm comfortable the way it is now. So bring this one down. I'm leaving this room for writing because somebody's name has to be written on this space before handing over, and because this thing I don't want to keep it in isolation, but I want to bring it closer here and see how it looks like. Possibly reduce it a little. Okay, just align it to the top of this one as I usually do. See, that's one way. You know that I can as well move this logo and see put it here. Okay, because I'm not enjoying that other side of it the way it is. Okay, and look for a way to stretch this character a little. Can I? Is there anything below here? Yes. Move these guys down. Envelope will not be cut. What will only happen is that you have to fit it within the printable space, but it will not be trimmed. So your write-up should have a reasonable space to relax. Okay. And there should be sufficient margin as well. It wouldn't look as if you were writing on the edge of the paper. Alright, so I'm stretching this one further because it needed to hang inside this area. So I have to get back my shape tool and then pull out the whole of this section and then drag it in. Let it look as if it's coming out from this angle. Okay. So that is that. Now send it to the back of the background. This one too, send it to the back, and this one to send to the back of the background, or send it to the back behind the background, and we are done. We are done with the envelope. So you can see that now I want to remove the outline of this, so we have something like this now. Living room. Why I'm doing this because I wanted to learn how to design for printing. After you've measured your envelope, printer will creep it around here to print compulsorily. For card, because envelope is already sized up, but card, while they are printing, let me show you the trick behind it is that you cut your card, let me say like this, for the printing machine, white card like this. When you cut it like this, the write-up will now fall within this space, and then you trim out and remove the white, so what is now left for you is like this. But for envelope is already designed, it's already made, it's already produced. Printing on an existing envelope means that there's no provision for trimming anymore, and because of that, when you are designing, you consider the printing machine will have to creep the envelope around this area while printing this last edge, else some write-up will cut off. And if that is applicable here, leave a similar cap here so that it doesn't look like if you are pushing the write-up to one side and while the envelope is just floating on one corner and then the other side cutting off. You must consider these things, and that's what makes you a pro designer. I'm enlarging that a little. So because envelope will not be trimmed, the envelope is already sized. I'm buying it like that as it came. In fact, the only thing I can ever do for the envelope is that I will measure my envelope and then design whatever I'm going to design such that when you want to print, it can comfortably be printed on the envelope, especially based on the kind of printer I'm using still. Some printers will need more space to hold, some won't even need up to all of this. So depending on whatever you are doing, you decide that if your printer wouldn't need all of this, you might want to extend this background in further, and that should be good for anything you want to do. Alright, and maybe in this case now, this I can stretch this background a little into this side. Let's say like this. I hope I'm not stretching this thing out of proportion. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? No, don't worry, but you've gotten the concept. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to do anyway. Let me just show you before finally was to make sure that this power clip content is locked. I want to unlock it so that when I stretch it, it wouldn't really affect the inner content of it. It will just move only the shape while the content remains intact. So I'll move it like this. You can see that it is revealing more of that content, but if it were to be locked, the moment you move anything, the content also moves along with you. That's all I wanted to say there. So we are done, and now highlight the envelope and export. Ctrl E, or you go to a file menu, export. You can see the Ctrl E, or you go to the standard toolbar and then you see export. Ctrl E still. Call it this another envelope. And if your WhatsApp is connected to your computer, please, when you finish exporting, you might need to send it to me through WhatsApp.